Hey there, welcome to the channel. I'm just a regular tech enthusiast who loves exploring gadgets, trying out new devices, and sharing my honest first impressions. No fancy setups or big talk here, just real experiences and honest reviews. So if that clicks with your vibe, hit that subscribe button and let's explore together. In today's video, let's take a look at an affordable iPad. It's got a fresh new design, sleek and modern, just like the iPad Air or Pro, but at a price that's much affordable. Unlike the older iPads with their bulky frames and heavy feel, this one is lighter, cleaner, and built for everyday use. It's much thinner and easier to hold in the hand. The fingerprint sensor has been placed at the top, with a Magic Keyboard Folio connection placed at the side, with a dual-in stereo speakers and USB-C for charging. The display has been upgraded from 10.9 to 1.1 inch, with slimmer bezels that gives it a clean, modern look, which also gives a vibe of an iPad Air with affordable price. In fact, it looks much like the iPad Air, but with less features. Now, when it comes to colors, it has quite an option to offer, giving you the freedom to pick one that really matches your style. And that's a nice touch, because tech should feel personal, not just functional. Talking about the accessories, something Apple always delivers. Whether it's the expensive models or the more affordable ones, they make sure every user gets that same experience. For this iPad, you've got support for USB-C and the first-gen Apple Pencil, a Magic Keyboard, and of course, a range of iPad cases, which makes it more interesting for an iPad users. Performance-wise, this iPad packs the A16 Bionic chip, which is impressive for a budget-friendly device. It handles most heavy games quite well, delivering smooth gameplay in titles like Genshin Impact or Call of Duty Mobile. Sure, you might notice the occasional hiccup or frame drop during intense scenes, but overall, it's a solid performer for casual and even mid-level gaming. For the price, it punches above its weight. Looking at the camera design, it's clean and simple with that single lens tucked neatly in the corner. Classic Apple minimalism. But yeah, it kinda looks the same as older iPads. Nothing really new or exciting here. It's got a 12MP wide rear camera and another 12MP front camera with center stage. The center stage feature is honestly super handy. It keeps you in frame during FaceTime or meetings, which I love. So picture quality, it's actually impressive for a tablet. Colors pop, details are sharp, and outdoor shots look great. But the moment you step indoors or under artificial light, you start seeing some grain and loss of detail. It's not bad, but you'll notice it if you've used an iPhone before. It shoots a 4K video up to 30 frames per second. The quality of the colors look punchy, focus is quick, and HDR does its job, but dim light still brings in that grainy texture. Alright, let's talk gaming. Not specs or numbers, just real gameplay. I've been testing a few popular titles to see how this thing handles everything from chill to high intensity games. Let's start light and work our way up. So, first up, Angry Birds. Honestly, it's smooth as butter. The touch response feels instant, no lag at all, and animations are crisp. Colors really pop, which makes each level look fun and lively. The audio syncs perfectly with every launch and crash. It's a casual game, so you won't stress the chip much, but it's a nice way to notice the display quality. The only downside, if you're playing for long sessions, the device gets slightly warm, but nothing uncomfortable. Next up, Subway Surfers. This one's all about speed and reflexes, and honestly, it flies. The frame rate feels super consistent, the swipe controls respond instantly, and the motion tracking is spot on. The colors are bright and sharp, making the game world feel alive. Even doing power-ups and fast transitions, there's no stutter or frame drop. Audio is clean too, you can really hear that whoosh when you jump or roll. If I had to nitpick, the battery does drain faster here, and you feel a bit of warmth after 20-30 minutes of non-stop play. But for casual gamers, that's a small trade-off for such a smooth run. Now this is where things start to heat up. Big visuals, heavy effects and fast-paced action. The device handles it surprisingly well. Load times are quick, textures look rich, and the reflections on cars and tracks look amazing. Even with traffic, weather effects, and drifting, the gameplay stays smooth at a stable frame rate. The gyro and touch steering respond accurately, and the speakers do justice to the roaring engines. You can literally feel the depth of the sound. On the flip side, after about 15 minutes, you'll notice some warmth near the back, and battery life does take a noticeable dip, nothing alarming, but definitely faster than with lighter games. Also, in a few high action moments with multiple effects, there's the tiniest frame dip, but it recovers quickly. Overall, Asphalt runs beautifully, visually stunning, responsive, and immersive. Perfect for racing fans who want both looks and performance. It also supports external gaming controllers, which makes certain games way more fun, especially car racing and shooter titles. The controls feel precise and really add to the experience. You can either go for a Bluetooth controller, which pairs with the device super easily, or a USB controller that connects via an OTG cable. Both work nicely. Just keep in mind, not every game supports a controller, only a select few do. Now, onto EA Sports. Sports games can be tricky because of their animations and constant camera shifts. The gameplay is super fluid here, with smooth transitions between players and cutscenes. The graphics look detailed, jerseys, turf, shadows, all pop nicely on the screen. Touch controls are accurate, though sometimes during online matches, network lag can make it feel like the frame rate dips, but it's mostly on the connection side, not the device. Audio quality shines here too. Crowd cheers, commentary and ball impacts all sound immersive through the stereo setup. On the downside, extended play can warm up the device and drain battery quicker than expected. Still, it's stable, reliable, and feels console-like for a tablet experience. And finally, the big one, Call of Duty. This game really pushes the limits. High graphics, fast movement, online play. It's a true stress test. The good news, it handles it like a champ. Graphics are crisp, shadows and reflections are solid, and you can run it on high settings without major issues. The frame rate stays consistent most of the time, even during intense gunfights or quick rotations. Touch response is excellent, aiming, firing, and moving all feel fluid and precise. The speakers add a nice punch, and you can actually hear footsteps clearly if you're playing without headphones. Now for the honest part, after around 25 to 30 minutes of play, the back starts to get warm, and if you're gaming continuously, you might feel a little thermal throttling, causing a tiny dip in frame rate. Battery life also takes a noticeable hit, dropping faster compared to lighter titles. But still, for a portable device, it's impressive how stable and playable it remains. You can enjoy full sessions without crashes or freezes. That's a win. Overall, gaming here feels fast, responsive and really fun. Light games, smooth and effortless. Heavy titles, still strong, though you'll notice the device warms up and the battery drains faster. Frame drops are rare, but can happen in very intense scenes. It's not a console, but honestly, it comes surprisingly close for a portable experience. Powered by the A16 chip, the iPad handles productivity apps flawlessly. Multitasking is seamless, apps load instantly, and the high-resolution display makes reading, editing, or creating content a smooth experience. Whether you're sketching ideas, compiling reports, or fine-tuning video projects, everything feels fast and responsive. It's the perfect tool for work, study, or any creative endeavor, letting you stay focused and productive wherever you are. When it comes to video editing, whether you're using VN Editor or DaVinci Resolve, the iPad keeps everything responsive, scrubbing through timelines, applying effects, and rendering clips all feel fast and effortless. VN Editor is lightweight and perfect for quick edits or social media content, while DaVinci Resolve brings professional-grade color grading and multi-track editing to your fingertips. The responsive touch interface, combined with Apple Pencil support, makes precise adjustments easy, and the high-resolution display ensures every detail is crisp. On the downside, complex projects with many layers of 4 Kelvins exports can sometimes take longer to render compared to a full desktop, and certain advanced features in DaVinci Resolve are limited on iPadOS. Still, for creators on the go, it's a powerful, compact editing studio that balances performance and portability, letting you produce high-quality content anywhere. Adding a mouse to your iPad, whether via USB or Bluetooth, takes productivity to the next level. Precise pointer control makes everything smoother, from scrolling through long documents to selecting text, arranging files, and navigating apps with ease. For video editing, you can scrub timelines, adjust clips, and apply effects with far greater accuracy than touch alone. Drag and drop between apps feels effortless, multitasking is faster, and managing multiple projects becomes much more intuitive. It's perfect for creators, students, or anyone who wants a more powerful and flexible workflow on the go, turning your iPad into a compact yet highly capable productivity machine. So lately I've been using this tool called Kittl. It's kind of my go-to whenever I'm working on thumbnail, logos, poster, or just random design ideas, especially with the background removal tool has made my editing experience so much easier and faster. What I really like is how beginner-friendly it is. You don't need to be a designer to make something that looks clean and professional. It offers tons of ready-made templates, cool fonts, textures, and even pre-built design elements you can drag and drop. It's great for quick brainstorming. I can just hop in, test out color ideas, move things around, and come up with new concepts without opening heavy design software. One of the tools I actually use a lot inside Kittl is the background remover, and the best part is it's free. I use it mostly for my thumbnails or poster ideas. Like if I take a product photo or a picture of myself, I can just upload it, click one button, and boom, the background's gone, clean and sharp. Normally, I'd have to open another app or website just to remove a background, but Kittl keeps it all in one place, which saves so much time. It's perfect when you're making thumbnails because you can instantly drop your subject onto any background, test different colors, and play with shadows or outlines. And since it's browser-based, I don't need to install anything. I can start designing right away, even on a different device. That flexibility really keeps my creative flow going, especially when I'm switching between projects. So yeah, that's pretty much how I use Kittl, nothing fancy, just a simple way to design faster and test out ideas visually. Whether it's removing backgrounds, building thumbnails, or experimenting with logo styles, it's become a small part of my creative routine. So if you want to try it out, I've dropped the link in the description. Check it out. Just explore it a bit, play around with some ideas, see what you come up with. That's basically how I got started, just experimenting for fun. Binge watching is one of my favorite things to do, and the iPad A16 11th Gen makes it an absolute joy. The 11-inch liquid retina display is bright and sharp with true tone color support, so colors look vibrant and realistic. Whether you're watching action-packed blockbusters, colorful animations, or subtle indie films, the visuals are crisp and immersive. The color accuracy is excellent, handling everything from deep shadows to bright highlights with ease, making content really pop. Streaming apps like Netflix, Disney+, Apple TV+, and YouTube feel stunning on this display. While the refresh rate is 60 Hz, which is standard, video playback remains smooth, and the colors, contrast, and brightness make every scene enjoyable. Coupled with the iPad's stereo speakers, the audio is clear and immersive, giving you a mini theater experience in your hands. On the Pro side, the iPad A16 is lightweight and portable, so you can binge comfortably anywhere on the couch, in bed, or while traveling. The A16 Bionic chip ensures smooth playback even for high-resolution streams, and the battery easily lasts through long viewing sessions without needing a recharge. On the downside, while the stereo speakers are clear, they're still limited for group listening. An external speaker or headphones gives the best experience. Ultra-dark scenes might not have the same depth as a high-end OLED TV, and holding the device for extended periods can get a bit tiring without a stand or case. Overall, binge watching on the iPad A16 11th Gen is an immersive and enjoyable experience. The combination of the bright liquid retina display, accurate colors, smooth 60Hz motion, and clear stereo audio makes it perfect for long viewing sessions. Whether you're catching up on your favorite series, watching movies, or exploring YouTube content, this iPad handles it all beautifully, balancing performance, portability, and visual fidelity for one of the best portable entertainment experiences you can get on a tablet today. This iPad comes with dual landscape speakers, designed to deliver clear and detailed sound for all your everyday media and communication needs. So, let's do a quick sound test and see how it performs. To be honest, the sound is crisp and clear, volume is decent, but the bass is a bit weak, it leans more toward the treble. It's great for movies, games, and casual listening, but not ideal for group listening. Use good headphones or a Bluetooth speaker for fuller bass. Overall, it's a nice decent speaker for a budget iPad. Alright, let's talk about the battery, because specs aside, that's what really decides if a device is practical for everyday use. So, I've been using the iPad A16 11th Gen for a few days now, and here's what I noticed. I started the day with a full 100% charge, did some light to heavy gaming, a bit of productivity work, some camera and video testing, and even ran a few sound tests for good measure. By the end of the day, the battery still held up pretty well. It lasted me the whole day on a single charge. But to be fair, it wasn't the full 10 hours of continuous screen on time. In real life, you're not glued to your iPad non-stop, right? There's downtime scrolling social media, watching a few YouTube videos, maybe replying to emails, then putting it away for a while. That's more like how I use it. And with that kind of mixed usage, it easily got me through the day. So realistically, depending on what you're doing, you can expect somewhere between 7 to 9 hours of actual screen on time. That's pretty close to what I got in my tests. So yeah, if you're using the iPad casually for content, Netflix, and browsing, it'll easily last you the day. But if you're doing heavier stuff like long gaming sessions or editing videos back to back, you'll probably want to plug it in between. And that's completely fine. I'd say it delivers on Apple's all-day battery claim. Overall, I'd rate the iPad A16's battery life as consistent and dependable. It's not breaking any records, but it won't let you down either. And that's honestly all you need from a tablet in 2025. Alright, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss the next one. It might be just one click for you, but it really means a lot to me. So, until next time, bye bye.